This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast and the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. It's wonderful to have you along for the ride on the heels of a 7-0 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays. Phillies clinch their fourth series victory in a row, and they do it with Cristopher Sanchez dealing on the hill. And I don't know who this new bullpen arm guy is that came out today and pitched the 3 innings of 7 strikeout scoreless baseball. Walker somebody, Taijuan, I think it's pronounced. I don't even know. But Dave Dombrowski is a genius for picking up this guy. How expensive is he? Oh, interesting. He dealt tonight. Look, you know, you always hear the expression, he's an easy guy to root for. He's an easy guy to root for. You know, Taijuan Walker, you don't wish anything bad upon him. Has he been terrible while wearing a Phillies jersey? Yeah, you know, most of the time. But tonight, Taijuan Walker went out there and dealt for 3 innings, and nobody in the bullpen needed to get used. Orion Kerkering got run last night. Matt Strahm got run last night. Run as we play. And then you also see Taijuan Walker go out there today to spell anybody else in the bullpen. It was a fantastic, worthy of the stat line, 0 runs being scored on this pitching staff today, with the combination of Sanchez giving the ball to Taijuan Walker to complete the 7-0 win and the shutout victory over the Rays. And at the same time, the Phillies bats dazzled tonight. 3 different Phillies come up with multi-RBI games. You love to see that. I think it was 3 or 4 different Phillies come up with multi-hit games. You see it again from Trea Turner, who is absolutely just on fire right now for the Phillies. And Bryson Stott gets back on the hitting track again for the Phillies tonight again. All in all, just a wonderful win for the Phils. And here's the other thing. I'll tell you what the other thing is. The other thing is, last night I was telling you that we got to get used to these types of wins. And we should get used to these type of wins as far as your starting pitching's dominant, which Zach Wheeler was last night. Cristopher Sanchez was tonight. Your bats made runs happen. 7 tonight, 8 last night. That's making runs happen. And then the bullpen gives you, and I know it was only 2 runs, but I mean, a good amount of base runners, a little uncomfortable moments. I said, you know, those are the types of wins we're probably going to have to use to. But, you know, any type of win is kind of good to get used to. A 7-0 win, I can get even more used to. I want to see that type of win more than anything. And the Phillies just did a fantastic job of adding on runs. They really took control of this game in the 4th inning when they had that 5-run 4th. And really, after that, it was all Phillies. No worries, no concerns, no nothing. And what's really amazing, especially if you talk about Cristopher Sanchez's night tonight, you talk about Cristopher Sanchez, goes out there, 6 innings, fantastic. 0 runs, 1 hit, walked 3, Lottie freaking duh, don't care. He was awesome tonight. He had a couple of moments there where he did struggle with command, but he got right back on track. And when he needed to induce a ground ball, he induced the ground ball. We'll go through his start, obviously, as the night goes on tonight. And we'll also look even closer at what was working so well with Taijuan Walker, who, by the way, used 16 pitches to get through the 7th inning today and struck out the side on 16 pitches. You love to see it from your fighting Phils today. So certainly worth the price of admission for your Phillies as they clinch yet another series. 3 big things. Number 1, let's talk about Taijuan Walker. I mean, I usually wait to do this, but I feel like this needs to be done now.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Obviously, what you're going to be talking about is Taijuan Walker. I have no doubt in my mind, more so than other things I'm going to mention when I talk about 3 big things. But Taijuan Walker, number 1, is what you're going to be talking about. Look, we've seen Cristopher Sanchez go out there and deal. We've seen Cristopher Sanchez have great command. We've even seen Cristopher Sanchez go out there and struggle with command and then all of a sudden dial in with laser focus. And next thing you know, he strikes out the side or something on 9 pitches. We've seen that. What we haven't seen, this year at least, is Taijuan Walker coming out of the bullpen to see if he would be at all a reliable arm. Well, so far, 1 for 1, and it wasn't even like the Phillies just needed a shutdown inning or anything like that. No, they kept rolling him out there. Rob Thompson kept rolling him out there, and rightfully so, to use him as he used him today. 45 pitches, over to 3 innings, 7 strikeouts. It is the first time, people, okay? Let's focus in on this for a second. It is the first time Taijuan Walker has struck out 7 hitters in an appearance since May of last year. Okay? We are over almost exactly a year ago, May 5th, 2024. He went up against the San Francisco Giants in South Philly, and he sat down 7 batters in 6 1/3 innings of work. What did he do tonight in Tampa? I'll tell you what he did. He did much. It was much more impressive. 7 strikeouts over just 3 innings of work. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. And getting that final 7th strikeout for the final punch out of the game. You know what? 2 birds, 1 stone, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I'm going to go with Taijuan Walker again. It's the Taijuan Walker show. Look, he had everything working for him. The splitter was fantastic tonight. He had great velo. Things were amped up a little bit when he was using his sinker or his fastball. That was working well for him. And really, he went out there and just dominated through the 3 innings. So that was great. As for honorable mentions, I'll call it that when it comes to player of the game, okay? Taijuan Walker, number 1. He's the champion, okay? Number 2, Cristopher Sanchez. Cristopher Sanchez did have me a little concerned, very little concerned, but still concerned in the early goings of this ballgame when he was just failing to locate his changeup, failing to locate his sinker. And you look at the first inning of work for tonight for Cristopher Sanchez, it wasn't atrocious. He gave up 1 hit and a walk, but nothing crazy. Didn't give up a run, didn't give up multiple runs or anything like that. But 16 pitches in that first inning, only 7 of them were for strikes. That is no bueno, okay? Then, after a 24-pitch first inning for Shane Baz there for the Tampa Bay Rays, after a 24-pitch first inning, he bounces right back. So now it's going to be a little competition between him and Cristopher Sanchez. Now you know it's on. Now you know it is absolutely on. Because unlike Sanchez, you see him bounce back. Baz bounce right back in that second inning, throws 14 pitches, 13 of those are for strikes. But Sanchez dialed in, especially in that third inning when he gets Simpson to strike out on 5 straight sinkers. He gets Diaz to strike out on a changeup. Morel gets into the full count, unfortunately works the walk, and then Caminero grounds out to third to end that threat. In the 4th inning, 1, 2, 3, go the Rays with another strikeout. This one of Meade, this one on a sinker for Cristopher Sanchez. 5th inning, leadoff walk, no problem, says Cristopher Sanchez. Caballero gets the leadoff walk, and then he gets Morel to strike out, looking at a changeup. Then he gets Caminero to strike or to ground out the second base, and then gets Jansen to ground out on the comebacker to close out that 6th inning. 5th inning to go back to that. Caballero walked to lead it off. Walls goes up there, grounds within a fielder's choice, and that just starts 1 of 3 consecutive fielder's choice ground balls for the Phillies and Cristopher Sanchez to go down to that 5th inning before just easy peasy. 3 up, 3 down in the 6th. Now, another similar situation when you talk about Cristopher Sanchez and what he had going for himself tonight in particular, because you're looking at some of these other guys that were going out there and dealing for the Phillies, but Sanchez goes out there tonight, and if you look at his numbers, look at this, 85 pitches through 6 innings. Could he have gone out there again? Could he have gotten one more inning? Well, Rob Thompson, old Tinker Topper, decided to tinker a little earlier again in this one and let Taijuan Walker go out there and do his thing. And how about this? Didn't see it coming, but I'm glad it's here. If Taijuan, look, I've said multiple times, I feel like what's going to happen with this Philly season, as we've talked about it many times, there is a sense I get from a lot of Phillies fans that this is the 3rd act or 4th act of the same play. It is back in the day, you change VHS tapes on a movie like Braveheart, okay? Because it's so long. I think Titanic might have even had the 2 VHS tapes, okay? Well, this is just like VHS tape number 4 when it comes to this Phillies team. We've seen it before, okay? I've said all along that I feel like Andrew Painter is going to be a shot in the arm when he eventually gets to the Phillies rotation. If the Phillies get help from Justin Crawford coming up from the minors, if they get help from a guy like Otto Kemp coming up from the minors, if he's added to the 40-man roster, if the Phillies get help like that, then it'll be a nice shot in the arm. Along those same lines, but nowhere near the same level. If Taijuan Walker can be this guy, if he could be the guy that you heavily rely on, if he could be a guy you can rely on in pressure-packed situations, high-leverage situations, as people talk about all the time, well, then this is a huge addition to this Phillies team. Huge addition. Hey, it's one time out of the pen so far this year. I loved everything I saw from him tonight. Just keep it going. Keep it going. And on top of that, so you talk about Cristopher Sanchez, talk about Taijuan Walker, and then just this lineup tonight, folks. Just absolutely fantastic. And if there was one turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Obviously, you're going to have to go with what the Phillies were able to accomplish in that fourth inning. They go into that fourth inning thanks to Trea Turner's second home run of the season. That was an absolute bullet to left field, 403 feet, got out in a hurry. He got a 2-1 slider up and in a little bit in the zone, and he just turned on. He turned on that pitch like Trea Turner, World Baseball Classic, 2 years ago, Trea Turner would have turned on that pitch. And he did it beautifully. And that was shot out of a cannon out of the ballpark. Phillies then were able to add on to that when they got a leadoff single from Max Kepler in the fourth inning. Then a walk by JT Realmuto right out of the gate. You got first and second, nobody out. Alec Boehm steps up there. There's a pass ball. You got second and third, nobody out. He grounds into the fielder's choice. Now you got first and third with one out. Johan Rojas steps up to the plate, and he drills a sac bunt. Could have been bunted for a base hit. Well, he was on his horse running down the first base line. But JT Realmuto, I believe it was, came in and scored. No, Alec Boehm was the one that came in and scored on that one. No, it was Realmuto, Miscusi. So you get him crossing the plate in that situation. So you get another run tacked on. Then Bryson Stott gets the RBI single, bringing Alec Boehm home. Johan Rojas goes to third on that one. Trea Turner brings him home on an RBI single to right field. And Bryce Harper caps off the big inning with a 2-run double to left center field on a 1-1 knuckler that just stayed up there. A little bit of a hanging knuckle curveball from Boz, and that was that. Phillies all of a sudden were up 1-0. Now blink, and they're up 6-0 as they kept on adding on in that inning. Phillies would add a little bit more later in the ball game on an RBI single from Bryson Stott, his second RBI of the game, and that made it a 7-0 game in the sixth inning. And as we know, the ball was given, or kept, I should say, by Cristopher Sanchez in the bottom of the seventh. No problem. Big bang, boom, 1-2-3 inning. And then give it to Taijuan Walker, who slammed the door shut. This is the type of win we can get used to. When we come back, we'll talk about what tomorrow looks like for this Phillies team. But again, it can't be stressed enough. 21st win of the season, 4th straight series victory. Now, can I beg? I'll beg. I'm going to beg. I'm begging. Can we beg for a sweep tomorrow of these Rays? Let's do that. Let's just do that. It's not that hard, right? Just sweep the Rays. Just sleep with the Rays. It's not, Jesus Luzardo on the hill. Come on. You know what I'm saying? All right. When we come back, we'll take your comments on this. And also, one thing in particular that jumped out to me about this win that I just love. That's when we would come back. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast and Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Connor Thomas has you covered each and every day with your Locked On Phillies daily podcast. I got you covered for your Locked On Phillies Postcast. Back after this. Now, you might ask yourself, am I talking about average pistachios? Am I talking about okay pistachios? No. I am talking about wonderful pistachios, the only kind of pistachio that I'm interested in. You know what I'm saying? Wonderful pistachios. So do yourself a favor and enjoy some wonderful pistachios. If you're looking for that snack that's both delicious and nutritious, check and crack into a good source, great source, as a matter of fact, of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help you keep feeling fuller for longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's a perfect grab-and-go snack for the busy days. Doing a lot of yard work this time of year. I need my protein. Wonderful Pistachios is my go-to. No shells, wonderful pistachios for the grab-and-go easy snack. Satisfy. Crack open some of those shells if you need to. If you like that brand, like that variety, go for that as well. Get snacking and maybe get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. That's wonderfulpistachios.com. Supplyhouse.com. Take advantage of supplyhouse.com. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands. What? Yes, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade professionals looking for extra edge in their business, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com, supplyhouse.com. Here's what's so fantastic about this win. If you just take a glance at the box score with me here with the Phillies, Bryson Stott, multi-hit, multi-RBI game. Bryce Harper, multi-RBI game, had the big double in the fourth inning, as I mentioned earlier. Kyle Schwarber, a multi-hit game for him. Gets the average of 264, 410 on base percentage. I love that every second of it. Nick Castellanos, late in the game, able to contribute with a base knock. You love to see that. 285 batting average. Not too shabby. Max Kepler, another hit as well. Bottom of the order. How about these guys? Alec Boehm scoring a run, getting another hit for himself tonight. And then Johan Rojas, I know it wasn't a hit, but drove in a run with what was ruled a sack bunt RBI. And as I said earlier, motoring down. It actually warmed my heart. More so than hearing an Eagles chant at the stadium tonight, at the ballpark tonight. But when I was a kid, a lot of you know this, at Veterans Stadium, there was a guy sitting behind, I don't know, by a microphone, field level, that you could always hear going, "Everybody hits, woohoo!" Now I can't go the high pitch because my voice is still horrible. But you could hear that last night. I didn't hear it so much tonight, but it just warms my heart. And tonight, just about everybody found a way to contribute in one way or another. And you love to see that for this Fighting Phils team. Let's get your comments in here and see what you guys have to say about this Phillies victory tonight. And again, getting another series victory. Michael Evans, hello. Phillies fourth can easily be traced back to Stott's at-bat in the third, where he had Baz throw 1 million pitches. You know what? That's a great point. I'll say this much. Bryson Stott in the third inning had a 10-pitch at-bat. Later in the game, I think it was JT Realmuto had a 10-pitch at-bat. And I feel like there was one more at-bat that just didn't go away. I know it was Realmuto had another one. I felt like there was one more at bat that lasted forever. But Phillies just kept it going tonight. Love to see that. James Alexander III, my man. Complete game shutout by Cristopher Sanchez. Kind of. And Taijuan Walker. Sanchez was dominant tonight. Walker, too, for that matter. First MLB save is awesome. Pat Ryan, you're absolutely correct. Ken, hats off to Walker. Always a team player, even during last year's struggles. Tonight was lights out and prevents bullpen meltdown issues of late. How about that? Jeremy Van Sciver. What's up, buddy? Finally, a reliever with a big lead going in there, throwing strikes. Kudos to Walker for not complaining and going in there, getting it done. He was brilliant tonight. Absolutely. Evelyn. What's up, Evelyn? What a performance by Sanchez and Walker. Fantastic to watch. I concur. Oh, well, we have a gripe. Jeremy Van Sciver. My only gripe was I was hoping Joe Ross would get an opportunity to lower his ERA. Tampa's lineup is pathetic. Everybody. I know it's not padding. What would it be? Padding your stats? Would it be padding your stats if you're lowering your ERA? I guess. I don't know. It'd be taking the express elevator down with your ERA against this team. Walker in the bullpen, a good thing. You can come in early if somebody's off too. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mark A., hard to believe that that's the same Walker as last year. Good for him. Wonder if he's pitched well enough to have some trade value to some team that needs a fifth starter. Maybe. Jason Kelsey, see what you did there? Tinker Topper needs to go. Well, it's not going to be going if you keep winning series. You know what I'm saying? Connor, let's go. Absolutely. Throwback to yesterday, a 3-inning reliever. I know, right? Could have really used it. Braves lost? Well, because they're terrible at baseball. They're still going to be right there. They're still going to be right there at the end. I mean, are we just going to concede that point? I think I'm just going to concede that point. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy them being terrible. Connor, what's going on? Think they winning the division all those years was easy? Right. When the Phillies, what's up, Joseph Brennan? When this team goes opposite field, hitting wins normally follow. Absolutely. Buddy Christ, what's up? Buddy Christ, aren't you a little busy these days? If you know, you know. Okay. Walker the stopper. Interesting, Morgan. BC says, go Dodgers. Nah, I'm good. Philly at 8. Hello. What an awesome complete team win. Walker having more Ks than Sanchez. The biggest shock of the night to me. Hey, I wonder what that bet was. Sir Sketchable. Phillies undefeated since Sir Sketchable's third child was born yesterday at 4 p.m. Suddenly, Taijuan is a human strikeout machine. Did you name the child Taijuan? No. But seriously, Sir Sketchable, congratulations. That's beautiful. Nothing like fatherhood, man. Congratulations to you, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congrats. Farzi makes a great name. Mark makes a great name. Farzetta too. Whatever. But just don't go with like Bryce or Harper. You probably did, didn't you? Okay, never mind. Sanchez and Walker, one of the two knockouts. Absolutely. Walker is going to be a killer in the bullpen, says Tommy Shreve. I hope so. Mike Evans, all is right with the world. Walker is throwing stripes out of the pen. There you go. Strikes, is that? Strikes, I think it's supposed to be. I don't know. JT tomorrow off, possibly after fouling that ball off his foot tonight. But one thing is been a little unfortunate here. Rafael Marchand batting an even 100 with a 2.50 ERA. Don't like that. This beginning of Trea's turnaround, I think we're in the middle of Trea's turnaround. Who had it? Somebody had it during the game tonight, and I was like, I should probably write that down. It seems like a good stat, and I didn't write it down. So I apologize for that. Was it Todd Zlecki, MLB.com? It might have been Todd Zlecki of MLB.com. Yeah. Trea Turner homering in the third inning, single, knocked in a run, and scored in the third. He has 8 multi-hit games in his last 16 games. Trea Turner, 8 multi-hit games in his last 16 games. How about that? Sir Sketchable, baby girl named Madison. Beautiful. Named Madison for the record. Haha, but Farzi was a close second. I'll take it. But seriously, again, congratulations. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's seriously fantastic. Hey. Putting shapewear on your stats? Did I? What do I got going on here? I don't know. Anyway, hey, tomorrow, Phillies look to bust out the brooms against the Tampa Bay Rays. Jesus Luzardo goes out there for the Phillies. He'll be going for their 22nd win of the season. 7:05 start time again. Luzardo goes against Ryan. Hold on. I know how to say this guy's name. It's a fun name to say. Ryan Pepillo. Ryan the Pepillo. He goes against Jesus Luzardo, 7:05 tomorrow. So I look forward to breaking that one down with you guys tomorrow right here on Locked On Phillies Postcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies Postcast. And also catch all of Connor Thomas's great content on Locked On Phillies as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. Back with you guys tomorrow night. Until then, go Phils.